Hi, good afternoon, and thank you again for joining us this afternoon. Bahubali, as we have discussed earlier, is one of the most prestigious films that Dharma Productions is associated with. Rajamouli and his brilliance, and the entire team of Bahubali that have spent nearly 4 years and 400 days making this spectacular piece of excellence. Like I was discussing with Sir right behind the scenes, that he's still actually in the stage of creating content. Special effect work is still coming in. It's still being pieced together. Even right before the release of the film, God knows how many thousands of people are still working on this film as we speak. Today we're going to give you a mild glimpse into the Mahesh, the whole kingdom that was created by Sir. The way he has created this kingdom where thousands of people have worked tirelessly to create it. Statues that are over 1,000 feet tall. A lot of the visuals we've shown you, but this is a new element, a new song that we're releasing today itself for all of you, just to get you into the world and suck you into the energy of this kingdom. The kingdom that will be unveiled on the 10th of July. The tussle that will be unveiled on the 10th of July. The storytelling that Rajamouli is known for. Apart from the visual extravagance and the spectacular film that this is, and it is not only touted, but it is definitely the biggest motion picture made in India. A glimpse into the kingdom, ladies and gentlemen, and I'd like to invite the man who created this kingdom, Rajamouli. As we all know that the film will be out on the 10th of July, and we're tirelessly, of course, awaiting to see this labor of love. None of us, including the team, have seen the film in its entirety, and I think Sir's vision is waiting to explode in the next few days for the entire team that have worked for nearly 4 years on this film. In the interim, we want to share all the material with you whenever we come up with a solid unit, and as I said, people are still tirelessly working on creating every single visual. I think this is the one film that has been the most worked at film in the recent past, and we're very happy and proud to have this film in our repertoire, and I'm privileged to work with a man whose mind has a bountiful of energy, brilliance, and I would say cinema forwardness. Thank you again for joining us, and we're happy to answer any of your questions.
We released on vacations and all, तो business में फर्क ज़्यादा नहीं पड़ता था, ऐसा कुछ लगता है आपको?
Vacation तो चल रहे हैं ना?
बच्चों के vacations, हाँ.
नहीं, आई थिंक ये तैयार थी पिक्चर, वो कब से आई थिंक वो रिलीज़ करना चाहते थे, और या हमारी तरह हम बहुत डेट बाउंड होते हैं. उनकी इंडस्ट्री में आई थिंक वो जब तैयार हो जाते हैं रिलीज़ कर लेते हैं, एंड देयर इज़ अ ह्यूज अमाउंट ऑफ एनर्जी एंड एक्साइटमेंट टू सी द फिल्म. आई थिंक वो तैयार थे 10th of July के लिए, तो हम भी तैयार थे, वो भी खाली वीक था हमारे लिए. एंड आई थिंक कि एक फिल्म ऐसी होती है जब एनर्जी ऑलरेडी क्रिएट कर चुकी है, और पहले दिन जब लोग अंदर जाएंगे और ये विजुअल्स देखेंगे तो उनको पता चल जाएगा कि वक्त जो भी हो, सिनेमा सिनेमा होता है.
Yeah,
and
Karan,
I think that is most integral.
Karan, what is the USP of this movie?
You have to see it to believe it. Really, the USP is every visual on this film has never been seen or created before ever. I mean, there used to be a time where we've had spectacles and spectacular films like Mughal-e-Azam. But in the recent past, I think cinema has taken a beating because budgets, other modalities and legalities have come in the way of this kind of opulent storytelling with heart and soul. And Bahubali is one huge step in that direction. It shows how that actors can put their careers on hold just to create cinematic excellence. Something that we have stopped doing and should start doing.
This is the first time a big studio has tied up with a film down south. So what sort of release are you planning for the Hindi version of the film?
Well, I think Anil Thadani, who's partnering with us on this, will be the right person. But I can safely say that it will be the widest dubbed film ever. Like in terms of its screen count and I think its visibility, it'll definitely be the highest, like where a dubbed film has been platformed for like the non-South languages. In those regions, it'll be the highest release ever.
ఈ సాంగ్ అంత ఎమోషనల్ ఉంది. ఏం సాంగ్ ఉంది చెప్తావు? కొంచెం ఎలాబరేట్ పన్ను.
Thank you.
Making you homely, making you feel homely.
Okay, thank you. Thanks a lot. This is one background song which describes the magnanimity of the kingdom on one hand, and the oppression of the people in the same magnificent kingdom. The lyrics say about the greatness of the kingdom, and the visuals show the oppression of the people. It's the contrast that's been portrayed in the song.
how does it feel when megastar like Mr. Amitabh Bachchan urges his need or urges his wish of being a part of your film?
You can imagine that. I think we were absolutely floored. All we wanted was just a small best of luck, one word from him, nothing more than that. To ask that, Rana went to his house and he showed him the trailer before the release and some visuals of the film, and Mr. Bachchan Saab said, "No, I'm not just saying one word about that. Get me a camera, you stand in front of me, I need to talk about the film," and he talked about it. And there are no words to express our feelings about what he told.
It's also been said that Baahubali is an Indian version of the Hollywood movie 300. So what's your take on that?
I don't know how the comparisons can happen because it's a completely different film and this is completely different film. But if you take it in terms of the kind of impact that 300 had on the audience, and I would surely hope Baahubali will have the same kind of effect on the audience. Apart from that, I don't think there is anything similar between both the films.
But this film took actually approximately 3 years for the making, right? So you have been planning Shuddhi for a very long time. If 3 years, work can present a fantastic film like this, what is Shuddhi going to be like?
Shuddhi is already, I think, 3 years. It's completed 3 years in the making already. Shuddhi has crossed the making of Baahubali already without being made. It's a new kind of history we have created with Shuddhi. A film that has not been shot has already been in talks. So as I said the last time when we were here at a press conference, I said that the next time that Shuddhi will be discussed is when I have something to show. If you find me an actor that will give me 3 years or 4 years of his life, I'll make Baahubali. And with Rajamouli sir only. Because I have tried to today in this press conference to pin him down that he has to make a Hindi language film, dual language of course, but he has to make it with me and nobody me. So I would beseech all of you to convince him to do that.
No one needs to convince me, Karanji, on that.
Done. Signed, sealed, delivered, we have announced our film. Anything he asks me to do, I will join hands with, because I believe there are very few filmmakers like him that can put their lives on hold, that can actually put all their energies, their passion into a piece of work. I don't have that capability. I haven't done it. I'm as much of a victim of circumstance as much as many other filmmakers and actors in my industry, and I'm not proud of it. I think that we are all about economics, about controlled budgets, about combating costs, and very less about storytelling and conviction and passion. And if we don't change that very soon, we will be a dying force instead of a force to reckon with.
And the festival release dates are usually booked by the Khans. I mean, as a producer, how do you view this? I mean, do you think this trend is good for the industry at large?
You know, I've actually reached a stage in my life where I want to make good films which have like strong content, and I think when the film is ready, of course one should block dates, and we try and do that, because what people don't realize that there is actually a technicality, a modality that forces us to block time in good time zones, because we're restricted by screen space. We are not being able to absorb 2 strong releases, sometimes in one phase, which is why we need to plan our releases. And plus our costs are so high that a national holiday gives us that much more of an impetus. We are bound by and restricted by certain obstacles that bind us to kind of succumb to certain release dates and, put our powers and energies into that. Having said that, if we can control our costs, if everyone comes on board, including the lead actors, then we don't have to worry about things like we must come on Republic Day or Independence Day or Eid or Diwali. We can then come anytime, like it used to be in the 60s, 70s. They didn't even hear of these things then, There was not even a thought. There were sometimes 2 and 3 films that have released. In fact, as recent as the year 2001 or before that, in I would say 1993, where Dil and Ghayal released on the same day. Then Lagan and Gaddar released in 2001 on the same date, and both were extravagant successes. So I mean, it's completely possible today in the age of multiplex show listing and timings restrict us. terribly. So I wish that our infrastructure would widen. I wish all the red tape and bureaucracy would be controlled and we'd have many more cinema halls. I hope our single screens would be rehauled and worked on. There's so much that needs to do. We need to be empowered. We need the governance to support us. I said that the last time, I say it again. We can't do this alone. We have to be treated as a strong force in an industry, and only when we are empowered can we really increase our infrastructure, and trust me, our content will get better with that. No sir, I think you're uninformed. There are many voices that go and talk. You just don't know what transpires in those conversations. I mean, you're not aware, you've not been in the room with us when we've gone. Yes. We have actually gone, there have been several trips made, not only one, but several trips. The problem is that we have people. Exactly. I think what your point raised is definitely valid, that we need to be much more one to kind of combat, and we are trying to do that, but single-handedly I can't do it and nobody else can. The ethos of all the working producers have to come together. The problem is we're restricted by people who actually sometimes, come in the way, who are not actively making movies. So we have to actually come together with people who are actively making movies. And now we are traveling away from Baahubali. This is a separate FICCI conversation which we'll do in March next year. Huh? Anji. Huh?
No, I'm not a big fan of the 3D format. Baahubali is all about scale. 3D gives you depth but reduces the scale, and I'm not a big fan of the format. I want my characters to be big, my visuals to be big. In fact, we have shot in 16:9, and in some cinemas where it has the bigger screens, you'll be seeing a much bigger picture than regular CinemaScope format. It's a 16:9 format. I'm not a big fan of 3D. I don't like it.
Bombay didn't do well, but your role was very appreciated as an actor. So will we see you act in the future? Have you got more offers?
Not anybody has offered me, I want to tell you. I'm waiting for that phone to ring. एक बुरा offer भी आ जाए तो कोई तो आए है. Not at all. I don't know. I tried my best. I don't think anybody wants to see me again on screen. I please put it out there, if you thought my work was good, that I should be offered more work. At least give me an opportunity to refuse it. I have not even been offered a single feature film. I can't cast my own self. I'm not that stupid.
Karan, you are one of the best director, producer, anchor as well in the industry. So the most burning question in the industry is when Karan and Salman are going to marry.
When Salman and I are going to marry? We will talk about Baahubali much more, but just to answer your question, Salman and I have worked together in my very first feature film. 1998, Salman played a very pivotal part in Kuch Kuch Hota Hai. So of course, working with him is an honor. I think he's one of our leading superstars and one of the finest people I know. And working with him will always be an honor and a pleasure and a privilege.
How important is villain in this movie?
I think Sir will be the best person to answer.
In all my films that I have done so far, I make my villain character much bigger than the hero himself. I'll make him much more powerful and stronger. And when you watch the film, throughout the film, you should have a feeling like, how can this guy be beaten? So that is how I design my antagonist character. And at the end of the film, when the protagonist manages to beat him, then he becomes the real hero. That has been my simple law throughout all my career. And Baahubali, the name itself is so powerful. The hero character is so powerful, and my villain is even more.
Let's know about music also, about picturization of the songs. How many songs are there?
I don't know why I'm even thinking you should answer this question. You spent all that money.
Yeah, unfortunately, my producers are not here today. They were busy partying last night. So all I can say at that point is that we are very happy with the product, and we are very happy with the way the business was done down south. It was one of the biggest ever, I don't like to get into the figures at this point of time. I would like to talk more about the content of the film and the visuals of the film, or what people can expect out of the film. I think the numbers are taking too much precedence. We should talk about after the film releases. After 2-3 weeks after the film releases, we can talk about the numbers.
What's important to know, ladies and gentlemen, that not one but 1.25, if not more, has been shot. So what we will see will be one, but a large part of the second part has already been shot. So that's also factored into the large budget that is making the rounds.
Let's know about music also. How many songs are there? Where they are picturized?
It has already been
It's
launched.
already been launched. It's one of the major hits in South. It has been the biggest selling album in iTunes, Savan, and all the music stores. It's one of the biggest, and we are very, very happy with the reception. To answer your questions, there are about 7 songs in the film, but most of the songs are the background songs and the songs that make take the story forward. We don't have the kind of songs where it is kind of a song for the sake of the song.
Produce more films, like dub version of more films in Bollywood, or is this the only?
Well, I'm not entirely close to it, but I can assure you that it only takes a filmmaker of Rajamouli's genius for me to really be lured, and there is only one of him in this entire world.
Since right now you said that almost the second part is also shot, will the business of the first film affect the second film in any which ways, and will there be a change of plan if the first one, doesn't do well?
It obviously will. It's an obvious answer. If the film does well, there will be making some positive changes in the second part. And at present, I want to talk only about that. Obviously.
Thank you very much. Thank you for joining us, ladies and
Thank you.
gentlemen.
Thanks
Thank you
a
very
lot.
much.